thank you for joining me for yoga class today. Go ahead and set yourself up by making sure that you have all of the props that you need to support yourself in your practice today. I've got a yoga mat. I'm sitting on a blanket, and I've got 2 yoga blocks and a strap. So just check around your area, see what it is that you want to incorporate, what you think you might need, and we'll get started with our yoga practice today. As we start our practice, we'll come into a comfortable seated position. Now, when you come into your comfortable seated position, you want to make sure that your legs are comfortable. If your knees are really uncomfortable, bent, then you can open up the angle. You might even extend your legs and allow them to be straight. Now, if you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're not collapsing in the upper body. So you want to think about shoulders above hips, ears above shoulders. So as you root down in your seat, you're rising up with the crown of your head. So you're lengthening your spine. This is a really comfortable way to sit rather than slouching, which can compromise the back. So get adjusted, get into your seat. Know that we're going to start here with our breath work today. Begin to close your eyes, bringing your gaze inward. Allow yourself to come into your practice slowly. Once the eyes close, simply notice how you're breathing. If your breath is short, start to work on lengthening the breath. Taking longer, deeper inhalations all the way to the top of the breath. And as you exhale, slowly let the air go. Continue to lengthen the breath. Allow each exhalation to release slowly, as if you're taking a sigh of relief. Check in, notice how your body is responding. As you inhale, feel the torso filling with fresh, clean, new air. And as you exhale, feel the shoulders melting away from the ears. Take a moment of gratitude for this time and space to enjoy this practice. Know that the point of joining this class together today is to feel better at the end of class than we do now. So taking time to honor that physical body, to allow the movement, to follow the breath, to work out any tension, tightness, stiffness, and to move the energy. Allowing ourselves to have a full experience in our bodies today. If you have a particular intention for your practice, for yourself today, please take a moment to invite that energy in. Come back to your breath awareness. Continue to lengthen. Know that as you're lengthening the breath, you're calming your own nervous system, helping to reduce stress and anxiety. Continue to feel grateful and safe in this space. Give yourself full permission to enjoy every moment of your practice today. And gently start to flutter the eyes open. Coming back into the physical space. Gently let your palms rest on your thighs. We'll start to circle the torso around. So bring one side of your ribs to the same side knee. As you inhale, send your heart forward. Move over to the other side. Exhale, bring your belly button towards your spine. Now, as you take these circles and move around, you might feel tightness in the side body. You might even feel this into the hips, in the back. Just continue to circle around, and as you circle around, take inventory of how your body feels in this moment in your practice. Notice if your body wants to go at a particular speed. It's okay if your body wants to move faster or slower. Just let your energy take you where it needs to go. Also give yourself permission to pause anywhere that might need a deeper stretch. As you take a pause, you're giving yourself time to release that tension. And then continue to circle around when you're ready. Now take it in the opposite direction. Enjoying this time of exploring this movement in our grounded seat. Feel the hips rooted down. Let the torso explore the space as it circles around. Notice if you're moving softer or faster. And pause anywhere you need to. Give yourself permission. Take that time. This is your body. Your body's going to let you know where it needs to pause, where it needs a longer hold. So really honor that. And then continue on when you're ready. We'll start to let the circles become smaller until eventually you find your torso to center. Coming back to that seated position with the hips rooted down and the crown of the head rising up. Now we're going to move the torso. We're going to continue to move the torso, but this time in a different way. As we inhale, we'll open the heart, send it forward. Feel the shoulders go back. And as you exhale, bring the shoulders forward. Take your belly button towards your spine. As you open your heart on the inhale breath, you're getting extension of the spine. And as you exhale and bring your belly button in, you're getting flexion for your spine. Continue to move with your breath. Allowing the muscles of the back to wake up, allowing the spine to move, letting this space in the back liberate. Our back is a really big area of our body, so we definitely want to honor that in our practice. If you got off pace with your breath, remember, inhale, open the heart, exhale, bring it in. You might even close your eyes and notice how this feels. With the eyes closed, you can really bring your attention to the sensation that you're feeling in your back as you move in this way. We'll finish out this one. And then we'll bring our spine back to neutral. Reach the crown of the head up. Feel your seat connected to your blanket or your mat. And then tuck your chin towards your chest. Leave your chin low. Feel into the back of your neck, your shoulders, your upper back. You might even feel this stretch going into the mid-back. Now we've got options here. We can leave the chin low, or we can decide to bring one ear above the same side shoulder. And as the breath changes, take it to the other side. So we're taking half circles. Inhale, moving your head to one direction. Exhale, rolling over to the opposite direction. Remember, movement follows the breath. If you're taking the option of moving from side to side, notice if one side is feeling different than the other. Allow the experience to be what it is. Start to even out the sides. Bring your chin to center. Lift your chin, gaze forward. Now we'll come into the shoulders. On an inhale breath, reach your fingers out to the sides. Take an exhale. Inhale, lift the fingers up. Exhale, take them out. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, open them out. Continue to move, following your breath. And take inventory with this movement. Noticing if one shoulder feels different than the other. If so, that's okay. We don't need answers as to why. We're just noticing where our body is in our practice today. Inhale, reach the fingertips to the sky. Exhale, reach the fingers out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take them out. Continue to move with your breath. Now, the next time you bring your fingers out to the sides, bring them in so that your wrists are in line with your shoulders. Arms are straight, fingers are shooting out in front. Now, on your next inhale breath, lift the fingers up. Exhale, bring the wrist back in line with the shoulders. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower the fingers down. Now continue this movement with your breath. It's another great opportunity to check in with your body, to take inventory of how the shoulders are feeling. At this point, you might even feel the shoulders fatiguing a little bit from the movement, from the activity. Let's take two more. Once the fingers come forward, open them out, and then bring them down. So continuing to ground down, we're gonna move from seated to reclined. As we change the station of our body from seated to reclined, we're gonna actually bring our backs down onto the mats. So think about how you might wanna set that up. I'm sitting on a blanket, so I'm gonna remove the blanket from underneath my seat. Then I'll bring my head to one end of the mat and my feet to the other end of the mat. Support yourself by taking your hands behind you and then walk the hands back so that you can bend your elbows, eventually come onto one forearm, then the other, and then slowly lower shoulders down and then your head down. Now, as you lower down, notice how this feels in your body. If this is uncomfortable for your low back, then I recommend that you bend your knees, take your feet open the width of the mat, and let the knees come in towards each other. I also recommend tucking your chin towards your chest so that you can lengthen the back of the neck, the cervical spine. Feel the tailbone connected to the mat. Feel your back, feel your shoulders, feel the back of the head. Take your hands to your belly. As you inhale, feel the belly pressing to the palms. And as you exhale, feel the belly soften. Continue to breathe in this way, this belly breathing. Feel the body move with each inhale and each exhale. Give yourself a couple more rounds of breath to get grounded in this reclined position. In yoga, we call this supine. Now open your arms out to the sides. Heel toe your feet so that they're hip distance. Bring your heels in line with your glutes. Reach your arms out to the sides. Just make sure that you've got room to bring your arms out. And as you bring your arms out, think about bringing your wrists in line with your shoulders. Now from here, lift your feet. Bring your ankles in line with your knees. Knees stacked above the hips. Facing up to the ceiling. Take an inhale breath. And as you exhale, let both knees move over to the left. Keep the right shoulder down. On your next inhale, lift the knees up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, now both knees are going to move over to the right. The left shoulder stays down. And repeat. Inhale, lift the knees up. Each time you exhale, take the knees opposite direction. Pay attention that you're keeping both shoulders grounded. Notice how the spine feels as you spinal twist. Now the next time that you bring your knees to center, lift your feet up towards the ceiling, keep the knees bent. So think about opening the knees wide as you can. Think about you want the knees to come outside of the ribs. Soles of the feet are facing up to the ceiling. Now your hands can come behind your knees. Your hands are pulling the legs down towards the mat. Or you can take your hands to your ankles. However, if your tailbone lifts, then you're going to want to take your hands back to the back of the knees. If you're more open in the hips today, you might be able to take your hands to the outside of your feet. Press the tailbone down. So remember, if the tailbone lifts, then you're going to take the hands back to the ankles or the back of the knees. So this is our happy baby, Ananda Balasana in Sanskrit. Hip opener, option to stay still, or option to gently rock from side to side. Now, if you're taking the option of rocking from side to side, you'll get a nice massage for your back muscles. You can continue to rock from side to side. You can stay still. You can explore taking your peace fingers, your index finger and middle finger, to hook onto your big toe on each foot. Notice how that feels. Keep the knees bent, keep the knees wide. Use your hands to pull the legs down to the mat At the same time, press your feet up, causing resistance. Now, another variation that we can take is to extend one leg. As you work on straightening one leg, you'll feel a much deeper stretch. Now, you don't have to straighten that leg completely. Just pay attention to how the leg feels. We want to feel a nice stretch, but not to the point of pain or major discomfort. And if you're taking that option, rebend that knee and let's try to straighten the opposite leg. Remember, this is just an option. We don't have to take it. Your body's going to let you know what it needs today. So pick the option that feels best for you. Now, if you straighten one leg at a time, you might want to try straightening both legs at the same time. Again, this is just an option. You decide where you want to go with it. Bend the knees, bring them back in. Release your hands, bring your arms down, send your feet up. Point your toes towards the ceiling on an inhale breath. And as you exhale, flex your feet, bringing your toes towards your face. Inhale, point the toes, feel a nice stretch at the top of the feet. Exhale, flex, nice stretch for your calf muscles. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Now soften the feet so that you're not pointing or flexing. Take an inhale breath. Keep your arms grounded by your sides. And as you exhale, slowly lower your legs down. Keep your legs together. Now, without touching the mat, as you inhale, lift your feet back up, toes towards the sky. Exhale, lower the legs, keep the legs together before the heels can touch the mat. Inhale, lift the feet up. Now we're working on our core, building strength, movement, following the breath. If you feel your belly shaking, that's good. That means that you're gaining strength. You're growing a little outside of your comfort zone. Really growing in your practice. Come back to movement, following the breath. We're going to take a couple more. You've got this. Don't stop now. Keep the legs together. Keep the arms grounded. All right, this is our last one. Inhale, lift the toes up. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And scoot your heels towards your glutes. Okay, so your feet are at hip distance. Coming back into hip stretching. Lift your right foot, cross your ankle to your left thigh. So just above the left knee. We want to make sure that the ankle's not directly on the knee. Then lift your left foot so that your left ankle is in line with your left knee. Look at your legs. Reach your right hand between your legs. Take your left hand around the outside of the left thigh. Interlace your fingers. Now feel your palms at your hamstring. Pull your left leg towards your body. Now, as you pull your left thigh towards your body, you're going to feel the stretch at the right hip intensify. Now, notice that the more you pull your leg towards your body, the deeper that stretch is going to be. So you decide how much you want to stretch your right hip. Now, you want to find the sweet spot. So the sweet spot is feeling a nice stretch, but not feeling pain or major discomfort. Anytime you're feeling pain, then go ahead and back out of it a little bit. Now we're going to hold for several rounds of breath to really open up that right hip. You've got the option to draw circles with your left big toe. Now taking circles is really going to help your ankle mobility. So I suggest this. We use our feet so much and we don't really give our feet the attention that they deserve after all the work that they do for us. So now's a really good time to incorporate that. Circle around opposite direction. Now let the foot relax. Check in on the intensity of your stretch. Pull a little more if you need. Now release your hands, keep your legs as they are. Open your arms out to the sides. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, let both legs move over to the left. See if you can get the sole of the right foot to touch the ground. If this is uncomfortable, you can stack your right leg on top of your left. Keep both shoulders down. Now we're taking time to get a deeper spinal twist. If you would like to take an IT band stretch, you can press your right foot over to the left, straightening your right leg. Your left hand can come to your right ankle if you get your legs straight. Now feel a stretch at the outside of the right thigh going into the right hip. This is just an option. Exhale, let it go. If your hand is on your leg, release it. Bend that right knee. Inhale, bring both legs back to center. Unwind the legs. Exhale, take the soles of the feet down to the mat. Take a round of breath here. Now get readjusted onto your mat. You might even take your hands down. Make sure you're back to the center of your mat. And then from here, we'll lift the left foot, bring the left ankle to the right thigh. Remember, avoid the knee. Bring that ankle just above the knee. Lift your right foot, position your right ankle in line with your right knee above the right hip. Now reach the left hand between the legs. Take the right arm around the outside of the right thigh. Interlace the fingers. Palms are to the back of the thigh. Now pull the right leg towards the body. You'll feel your palms on your thigh. Find the level of intensity that you need, feeling the stretch in the left hip. And then draw circles with your right big toe. Now inviting mobility into the right ankle. Continuing to feel the stretch at the left hip. And paying attention to find your sweet spot on this side. Circle around opposite direction. Bring the foot to stillness. And continue to pull the leg towards you if you need a deeper stretch. If it's too deep, then back out a little bit. Remember, you're in control of how much you stretch today. Pay attention that you're challenging yourself, but that you're not hurting yourself. Okay, so this is really going to be up to you as to how much you lean in or how much you lean back. Meaning how much you're going to participate with your body depending on how it feels. You know your body better than anyone else. So really tune into that. One more round of breath in this shape. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go. Now keep your legs in this shape. Release your hands. Open your arms out to the sides. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, lower the legs over to the right. See if you can position the sole of the left foot to meet the ground. Now it's more important to keep the shoulders grounded. As you come into this side, if this is not comfortable, you can stack your left knee on top of your right. That might be a better option for you. Maybe you try both and choose the one that's working for you. And if you did so on the other side, coming into the IT band, you can play around with pressing that left foot to the right, straightening the left leg, taking your right hand to your left ankle or lower part of the leg, and just noticing how it feels on this side. Keep that left shoulder down. Gently release your hand if it's on your leg. Rebend your knee. On an inhale breath, lift the legs up. Unwind the legs. Exhale, take the soles of the feet down to the mat. Bring your arms by your sides. Shift around so that your body is back to the center of the mat. Knees are bent, soles of the feet are on the mat. Take a full round of breath here. Exhale, open your mouth, sigh of relief. Couple more rounds of breath. Feel grounded on the mat. Bring your heels in line with the glutes. Arms grounded by your sides. Palms are pressing down to the mat. Think about your arms like anchors. Now we're going to start to articulate the spine. Tuck your chin towards your chest, finding the length at the back of the neck again. As you inhale, lift your hips, press them up to the sky. Now as you exhale, lower from the top of the spine, slowly down, bone by bone, all the way until your tailbone meets the mat. And we're going to repeat that. Inhale, lift the hips, press them up so your body is at a diagonal from the shoulders to the knees. Exhale, lower from the top of the spine, slowly down, bone by bone. Once the tailbone meets the mat, let's do that again. Inhale, lift the hips, press them up. Exhale, lower down. One bone at a time. Now, once the tailbone and the entire back is connected back down to the mat, pause here, take a round of breath. We'll keep that left foot grounded and just lift the right foot. Now, as you lift the right foot, take your hands to the back of the thigh, interlace your fingers. Once your hands are set here, then point the toes up to the ceiling. So we're trying to straighten the leg as much as we can. If you point your toes even more, you can enjoy that nice deep stretch again and really lengthen, get a long line there. Now, soften the foot so you're not pointing or flexing, but keep the leg as straight as you can. Now, start to bend your elbows so that you're pulling the leg towards your torso. Feel a stretch at the hamstring muscle. Remember to pull to your level of intensity in terms of how deep you want to stretch. Be really careful with your hamstrings. Start off really gentle. It takes our hamstrings a full hour to warm up. So go easy on your body here. And then back out. Now we're gonna do that again, depending on how flexible your hamstrings are today. You might keep your hands where they are, or you might bring your palms to your low leg, to your calf muscle. Then pull the leg towards you. Keep the tailbone grounded and pay attention as to how much you want to pull your leg towards you. Now, if you're having trouble getting your hands to the back of the thigh or the calf muscle, know that you can incorporate a strap. So the strap is going to go to the arch of the foot, and then either side of the strap are going to go into your hands. So now you've got a little more distance that might be more comfortable for you. Your hands can even walk up the strap. Now, because this is our home practice, you might be thinking, I don't have a strap. That's totally okay. You don't need to worry about buying one. You can use a scarf, you can use a belt, you can even use a towel. So just think about props that you have already in your home space and don't stress out about buying a yoga strap. Now we're gonna let that side go. Gently bend your knee, release your hands or your strap. Let that foot come down to the mat. Take a round of breath here. Exhale, let it go, sigh of relief. Now keep that right foot down. Lift the left foot. Left knee is bent. Take your hands to your thigh. Interlace your fingers. Feel your palms at the back of the thigh. Now, lift your toes up, straighten your leg. Take a deep point in the toes to come back to that nice stretch for the top of the foot. Then relax the foot, but keep the leg straight. Use your arms to pull the leg towards your body. You'll feel the elbows bend. Don't forget to breathe. Gently let this left hamstring open up. Now bend the knee. As you bend the knee, you're going to take your hands now to the calf muscle if you did on the other side, or you can keep your hands to the back of the thigh. Now on this side, we'll try to straighten the leg, see if that feels okay. If you feel like you don't have control and this is too much, you can keep your hands at the back of the thigh, or you can come into your prop option of using a strap, a towel, a belt, a scarf, to give yourself a little more distance. And remember, we're just pulling the leg towards the body enough to feel sensation. Keep the leg as straight as you can, but not to the point of discomfort. Really take care of your body. This is the only body that you're going to have in this lifetime, so you really want to take care of it. We don't want to injure ourselves. If you pull too much and you injure your hamstring, then you're going to be having about 5 to 6 months to recover. So you really don't want to push yourself too far. Pay attention to that. And gently bend your knee, release your hands or your strap, whatever you're working with. Take the strap out to the side, lower the foot down to the mat. Let's take a full round of breath here. Exhale, let it go. Now we're going to move the station of our body. So from our reclined supine position, we're going to come into a prone position. This means we're going to be on our bellies. So we're just gonna roll over onto one side. Take your time to reposition your body to the center of the mat, belly down. Lengthen the legs. Start off by bringing your elbows underneath your shoulders. And when you look down at your arms, notice your wrists are in line with your elbows. The fingers are spread wide. Now, in this position, we've got a mild back bend. If at any point you feel discomfort in your low back, you can position a blanket underneath your pelvis. That's going to feel better. So know that that's always an option for you. And we're going to take a couple different options from our prone position. First off, let's just send the elbows out. Lower the chest down. Open the elbows wide. Stack your hands. Make a pillow for your forehead. Now, the forehead can come directly down, or you can turn your head to one side if that's more comfortable. Notice how it feels to be in this prone position. As you breathe, feel your belly pressing to the mat with each inhalation. Feel your belly soften with each exhalation. Let your body ground down. Now, if you're a belly sleeper and you have issues with your low back, it is going to be much more comfortable for you to put a pillow or a blanket underneath your pelvis. So if that's you, I'm going to demonstrate what that would look like. You can open up the blanket to the level that you need, and then that blanket is just going to go underneath the front of the hips and the pelvis. This is going to be much more comfortable for the low back. So just know that this might be something that really will work for you. And sleeping is really important because we spend a third of our day doing that. So we want to make sure we're protecting our bodies in that way, in that time. Now, lower back down. Bring your legs together. Feel your feet touching each other. Now, once you have your feet touching each other, we're going to work with one side at a time. So as you inhale, lift and lengthen that right leg. Lift the leg so much that the thigh comes off the mat, but the front of the hip is still connected. Hold the lift. Point the toe. Take another round of breath. Deep inhale all the way to the top of the breath. And as you exhale, lower that right leg down. Pause here. Notice how the right leg feels. Notice how the left leg feels. The right leg probably feels longer because we've done some lengthening. So let's try that on the other side. Inhale, lift and lengthen that left leg. Lift the thigh off the mat. Keep the front of the hip connected. Hold the lift. Point the toes. One more round of breath. Exhale, lower down. Bring the feet together. Feel into the left leg. Feel into the right leg. Full round of breath. Now lift your head so that you can bring your hands underneath your shoulders, palms down to the mat. Once your hands are underneath your shoulders, on an inhale breath, lift your chest, gaze forward. Feel the back activating, and then exhale, lower the forehead down to the mat. Now slide the hands towards the ribs. On your next inhale, lift your chest. Now play around with lifting your belly as long as this doesn't hurt your low back. And then as you exhale, bend the elbows, lower back down. Bring your arms by your sides. Turn your head over to one direction. Bend your knees. Feet are lifted. Now move your knees from side to side like windshield wipers on the car
Just releasing any tension from the hips and the back. And then bring the legs to stillness. Lower the legs down, bring the legs together. Take the hands back under the shoulders. As you inhale, use your energy to lift your hips, straighten your arms. Now, walk your hands towards your body. Send your hips all the way down to your heels. Extend your arms, reach them forward. And then bring your arms by your sides to fully relax the shoulders. Now feel your belly press into your thighs as you inhale. We're letting the spine come back to flexion. Releasing the low back with the legs together. Grounding down in this child's pose. If you have trouble sleeping at night or you have anxiety, this is going to be your go-to posture. So if you're suffering from not getting enough sleep or feeling anxious, then I recommend taking this posture for 3 to 5 minutes in those times. This is a very grounding posture. It's great for our low back when our legs are together. So we're going to explore another variation. Lift the head, take the hands forward. Lift your hips so that you can open your knees the width of the mat. Keep the big toes together. Bring the hips back to the heels. Extend the arms. Now in this variation, we're opening the hips. Let the forehead ground down. And take a few rounds of breath in this variation. Close your eyes, feel into the hips. Continue to stay here in this shape. And just observe how this feels in your body. In this time of this grounded posture of child's pose, continue to let the hips sink down to the heels. Continue to feel the connection of the forehead to the mat. Continue to breathe. Count for 3 more rounds of your breath. And as you inhale, lift your hands. Exhale, walk your hands towards your body. Find that straight spine. Seat is rooted down, crown of the head is rising up. Now we're going to come back into our seated position. So I'm going to put my blanket here so that you can see this option. When I come into my seat, I prefer to sit this way. This lifts the hips a little higher than the knees. It's a very comfortable way to sit on the cushion of the blanket. Close your eyes, notice how your body feels. Reach the crown of your head up. This is where we're going to close our practice today. Just noticing how our body feels in this shape after our movement. Noticing that today we moved with intention, focusing on safety and alignment. Enjoying this sort of very grounded practice. Staying low onto the mat with no standing options today. Just keeping ourselves grounded.
Take a deep inhale through your nostrils. Exhale, open your mouth, let it go. If the eyes are closed, gently start to flutter them open. Know that in this time, you might want to move into meditation if that's part of your practice, or you might want to go into Shavasana, resting pose for 10 minutes, if that's part of your practice. If you're ready to finish, that's fine too. We'll end our class here, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining me. Namaste.